Direct News TV. July 22, 2023. Russia-Ukraine War, List of Key Events, Day 514. These are the main developments as the Russian invasion of Ukraine enters its 514th day. Fighting. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Kyiv's counteroffensive was failing despite military and financial support from Western countries. Neither the colossal resources that have been pumped into the Kyiv regime nor the supplies of Western weapons, tanks, artillery, armored vehicles and missiles are helping, he said. Russia's defense ministry said it used high-precision weapons on Ukrainian facilities in the fourth successive day of attacks on port cities, Russia's TASS news agency reported. The United Kingdom's ambassador to Ukraine said air raid alerts several times a day are stressful. Air raid alerts several times a day that last for only around 15 minutes a time are as unnerving as those further apart but lasting longer, it turns out. They keep your stress levels at a permanent high. #Russian invasion. Ukraine's governor of the Odessa region said Russia used Kalibr cruise missiles in its latest attack that injured 2 people. The Wagner mercenary forces are no longer fighting in Ukraine, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said. Ukraine's governor of the Donetsk region said 2 siblings were killed in Russian shelling. A 10-year-old boy and his 16-year-old sister were in the yard of their home in the village of Druzhba when a Russian shell struck. A senior U.S. defense official said controversial cluster munitions supplied by the U.S. are being used, effectively, by Ukrainian forces against Russia's invasion. Politics. A Moscow court remanded nationalist Kremlin critic Igor Girkin in investigative custody until September 18 on charges of incitement to extremism, the RBK News site has reported. Girkin is a former FSB agent who was instrumental in organizing a Russian-backed separatist rebellion in eastern Ukraine in 2014. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison, the TASS and RIA news agencies said. China said its position on the war in Ukraine remains unchanging and clear, the Russian news agency TASS reported. We will make efforts and continue to play a constructive role in order to advance the political process to resolve the crisis, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has dismissed Ukraine's ambassador to the UK. The presidential order gave no reason for the dismissal. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen praised Ukraine's amazing progress in implementing reforms to fight corruption, preserve minority rights and ensure an independent judiciary. Military. The Russian Defense Ministry said its navy conducted drills that simulated action to seal a section of the Black Sea. The maneuvers come after Moscow declared large areas of the Black Sea dangerous for navigation following its withdrawal from the Black Sea grain deal. Ukraine's defense ministry said it will consider all ships traveling to Russian and Russian-occupied Ukrainian Black Sea ports as potential carriers of military cargo. Putin accused Poland of having territorial ambitions in the former Soviet Union and said any aggression against close ally Belarus would be considered a threat against Russia. Putin's threat comes after reports that Poland had deployed troops to its border with Belarus. Germany and NATO members are prepared to support Poland in defending its eastern flank, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said. The Russian parliament wants to increase the maximum age for military recruits by 3 years, to the age of 30, the head of the Russian State Duma Defense Committee has said. The minimum recruitment age is to stay at 18, the Interfax news agency reported, citing senior legislator Andrei Kartopolov. Military aid. The U.S. plans to soon announce a new military aid package for Ukraine worth up to $400 million, primarily comprised of artillery, air defense missiles and ground vehicles. Bulgaria will send about 100 armored personnel carriers to Ukraine in the Balkan country's first shipment of heavy equipment to Kyiv. Black Sea grain deal. Russia's withdrawal from the Black Sea grain deal is expected to drive food prices higher in Asia, but the impact will be muted for now, analysts said. Under the Black Sea deal, Asia received 46% of shipments of grains and other foodstuffs, while Western Europe and Africa took 40% and 12%, respectively. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said his planned talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin could lead to restoring the Black Sea grain deal, and he called on Western countries to consider Russia's demands, Turkish broadcaster Haberturk reported. Moscow said it will do all it can to protect Africa from the consequences of withdrawing from the Black Sea grain export deal, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Vershinin said. Vershinin accused Ukraine of using the grain export corridor to launch terrorist attacks against Russian interests, including on the Crimean Bridge. The spike in grain prices in the days since Russia quit the deal grain potentially threatens hunger and worse for millions of people, the United Nations Aid Chief Martin Griffiths said. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.